The time was 3 in the morning. Sarah Chen checks her phone and her heart stops. $17,000 gone, drained from her account while she slept. The thief? She's staring right at them. It's her own face on the security footage, speaking in her exact voice, authorizing the transfer. But Sarah was home, asleep in bed, 300 miles away. Welcome to the new battlefield. This year, 2026, the enemy doesn't need to break down your door. They don't need your keys. They just need your face, your voice, your digital shadow. And right now, as you're watching this, they might already have it.
Let me take you back. Back to when thieves were simple. They wore masks. They carried crowbars. You could see them coming. Those days are dead. Last year, the numbers came in, and they weren't just bad, they were apocalyptic. Fraud accounts jumped 62% in 12 months. Not 62 cases, 62%. That's like going from 10 thieves at your door to 162. But here's what keeps security experts awake at night. That's just what they caught. The real number? Nobody knows. I spent 3 months talking to former hackers, bank security chiefs, FBI cyber units, and they all told me the same thing. We're not winning. We're just losing slower. One detective, I'll call him Marcus, he told me about a case that still haunts him. A grandmother in Ohio. Sweet lady, 73 years old. She got a call from her grandson. She heard his voice, crying, panicked. He'd been in an accident, needed bail money immediately. Don't tell mom and dad, they'll freak out. She wired $18,000 to a lawyer who didn't exist. It wasn't her grandson. It was 11 seconds of his voice, scraped from a TikTok video, fed into a program anyone can download for free. 11 seconds was all it took to clone him perfectly. That was 2 years ago. The grandmother lost her savings. But here's the terrifying part. The technology that fooled her, it's already obsolete. What we're dealing with now makes that look like child's play. Banks started noticing something strange in early 2024. Customers were calling in, furious, swearing they never made certain transactions. The banks would pull the security footage. There's the customer, clear as day, making the withdrawal. Voice authentication? Passed. Facial recognition? Confirmed. Security questions? All correct. Except the customer was telling the truth. They were never there. What the banks were seeing, what they're still seeing, are ghosts. Digital phantoms. Perfect copies of real people walking into branches, emptying accounts, and vanishing. To fight an enemy, you have to understand them. So let's talk about how this actually works, and I promise no technical jargon that'll put you to sleep. Imagine you're an artist, a really good forger. In the old days, you'd study someone's signature for weeks, practicing until your hand could recreate it perfectly. That's talent. That's skill. That's human. Now, imagine instead you have a machine that watches someone sign their name once, just once, and can instantly replicate it, forever, in any lighting, any angle, any situation. That's what we're dealing with. These systems, let's call them what they are, copycat machines, they learn. They watch videos of you talking, they study your LinkedIn photo, they analyze your voicemail greeting, and then they become you. Not an imitation, not a costume, they become you. Here's a test. Pull out your phone right now. How many photos of your face are online? Facebook, Instagram, that company headshot on the website, your driver's license renewal at the DMV? Now your voice, every video you've posted, every voicemail you've left, every Zoom call you've joined. That's not paranoia, that's math, that's data, and to these systems, data is raw material. I talked to a woman named Elena. She runs security for a major bank. I can't tell you which one, she'd lose her job. She showed me something that made my blood run cold. She pulled up what looked like a normal security camera feed. A man walks into a branch. He's wearing a business suit. He's calm, confident. He requests a withdrawal, large amount. The teller asks for ID. He provides it. Asks security questions. He answers perfectly. Middle name of his first pet? Correct. Street he grew up on? Correct. Mother's maiden name? Correct. The teller processes the withdrawal. $15,000 in cash. The man leaves. 3 hours later, the real account holder calls in. He's in Singapore. He's been in Singapore for 2 weeks. He never authorized anything. Elena rewinds the footage and shows me again. She zooms in on the man's face. And that's when you see it, if you know what to look for. A slight shimmer around the jawline. A pixel-perfect pause when he blinks. The shadow falls wrong, just by a fraction. It's not a person. It's a puppet, a digital marionette being controlled in real time by someone halfway across the world. The kicker? This happened in February. The technology has improved 100-fold since then. Now I need to tell you something that's going to sound insane. Everything I just described, the voice cloning, the face swapping, the digital ghosts, that's not even the real threat anymore. Because while we've been terrified of thieves pretending to be us, something else has been happening in the shadows. Last month, a bank in Stockholm processed 47,000 transactions. Normal day, nothing unusual, except for one thing, and they only caught it by accident. 19 of those transactions were authorized by people who don't exist. Not people pretending to be someone else, people who were never born. Completely fabricated identities, fake birth certificates generated by machines, fake credit histories with 5 years of realistic posts, fake job references from fake companies. The bank approved them all, gave them accounts, credit cards, loans. They'd created synthetic humans, ghosts from birth. And here's the part that should terrify you. Law enforcement found the operation, shut it down, arrested 17 people across 4 countries. They recovered about $12 million. The system had stolen $437 million. The rest is just gone, scattered across 1,000 digital cracks in 100 different countries, and it's never coming back. So the question isn't how do we stop people from stealing our identity? The question is how do we prove we are real at all? But this isn't a story about losing, because while the thieves have gotten smarter, so have the defenders. Let me introduce you to the other side, the watchers, the hunters, the digital guardians who never sleep. Right now, literally this second, there are systems analyzing every transaction happening across the global banking network. Not humans watching screens, patterns of behavior being measured against billions of data points. Think of it like this. You have a rhythm, a digital heartbeat. You buy coffee at the same shop every Tuesday morning. You fill up gas on Thursdays after work. You order takeout on Friday nights, usually between 7 and 9 p.m. You hate shopping at physical stores, so most of your purchases are online. You're bad with cash, so you almost never use ATMs. That's your pattern, your digital fingerprint. It's as unique as your actual fingerprint. Now, imagine someone steals your card. They try to buy something. Maybe they're careful. They know roughly how much you spend. They pick a store you shop at sometimes. They think they're being smart, but they can't fake the rhythm. They buy at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday when you're always at work. They try the ATM when you haven't touched one in 6 months. They hesitate for 7 seconds before entering the PIN. You never hesitate. Your fingers know the pattern. Red flag, red flag, red flag. The system catches it before the transaction even completes. Card locked, alert sent, crisis averted. But that's just the basic defense. Let me tell you about the real weapons being deployed. There's a system, I can't tell you where it's deployed, but it's running at 3 major banks that doesn't just watch transactions, it watches how you type. You press the A key for 0.07 seconds. You hit E slightly harder than other letters. You pause for 0.3 seconds between words. Your right hand types faster than your left because you broke your left wrist when you were 12 and it never quite recovered. That's your typing biometric, and it's almost impossible to fake. Someone steals your password? Doesn't matter. They don't type like you. System knows. Access denied. I met a woman named Dr. Rivers who builds these systems. She walked me through how they work, and honestly, it was like watching a chess grandmaster explain a game they're playing 1,000 opponents simultaneously. She showed me an attempted breach that happened in real time while we were talking. Someone trying to access an account in Dallas. System flags it immediately because the login came from an IP address in Romania, and this customer hasn't left Texas in 3 years. But the attacker is smart. He's using a VPN that makes it look like he's in Dallas. Passes that test. So the system checks typing pattern. Wrong. Checks how fast they navigate the website. Wrong. Checks the mouse movement, and this is wild. The exact curves and speeds of how someone moves their mouse is unique, like a signature. All wrong. Transaction blocked in 1.3 seconds. The attacker never even knew what hit them. These systems are learning every single day. Every attack that fails teaches them something new. Every successful breach gets analyzed and becomes a lesson for tomorrow. The projections say this tech will cut fraud losses by 30% this year. 30%. That's billions of dollars staying in the pockets of real people instead of vanishing into criminal networks. But here's the important part. Technology alone isn't enough. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. The weakest link in any security system isn't the software. It's not the firewalls or the encryption or the biometrics. It's us. It's humans. It's you and me. I learned this the hard way. About 6 months ago, I got an email from my bank. Looked completely legitimate. Logo perfect. Email address looked right. It said there'd been suspicious activity on my account. Click here to verify. I'm literally making a documentary about digital fraud. I know better. I know better. And I still almost clicked it. I caught myself, but only because I'd been researching this stuff for months. The average person, they click. And the second they do, it's over. The email wasn't from my bank. It was from a server in Lithuania. The link would have installed software that records every keystroke, every password, every account number, everything. Social engineering, that's what they call it. The art of manipulating people into breaking their own security. And it works horrifyingly well because it exploits something technology can't protect. Trust. You trust your grandson's voice. You trust an email that looks official. You trust a person who knows your mother's maiden name. That's why the real battlefield isn't just between security systems and criminal machines. It's between their manipulation and your awareness. Let me give you the real weapons, the human defenses that actually work. First, slow down. That's it. That's the secret. Every scam, every fraud, every manipulation attempt relies on urgency. Act now. Immediate action required. Limited time. It's all designed to bypass your logical brain and trigger panic. So slow down. If someone calls claiming to be from your bank, hang up. Call the number on the back of your card. If you get an urgent email, don't click anything. Open a new browser. Go to the website directly. Second, multiple locks on the door. They call it multi-factor authentication, but really it's just common sense. A password is one lock. Adding your fingerprint or a code sent to your phone is a second lock. A third lock might be a security question or a physical device. Can someone pick one lock? Sure. 2 locks? Maybe. 3 locks? The effort usually isn't worth it. They'll move to an easier target. Turn it on. Everywhere. Every account. I don't care if it's annoying. I don't care if it takes an extra 10 seconds. Those 10 seconds might save you $10,000. Third, question everything. Your grandson calls asking for money? Call him back on his regular number. Your boss sends an urgent email requesting a wire transfer? Walk to their office and ask in person. That charity asking for donations? Look them up on the official registry. I know it feels paranoid. I know it feels like we're living in a world where we can't trust anything. And honestly, right now, that's partially true. We are living in a time where digital deception is easier than it's ever been. But that doesn't mean we're helpless. The criminals are evolving, the technology is evolving, so we have to evolve too. Sarah Chen, remember her? The woman who lost $17,000 to her own digital ghost? I talked to her 3 months after it happened. The bank eventually returned most of her money. She enabled every security feature available. She checks her accounts twice a day now. She never clicks links in emails anymore, no matter how legitimate they look. But she told me something that stuck with me. She said, "I used to think privacy was about keeping secrets. Now I realize it's about keeping control. Control of my face, my voice, my identity, because those things are weapons that can be used against me." She's right. This isn't about being afraid. It's about being aware. The siege isn't ending. If anything, it's intensifying. Fear will bring new tactics, new technologies, new threats we haven't even imagined yet. But we're not defenseless. We have tools, knowledge, and something the machines don't have: the ability to adapt, to learn, to warn each other. So here's what I need from you. Have you been targeted? Have you caught something suspicious? Have you learned a trick that helped you spot a scam? Share it. Put it in the comments. Warn the others, because every story you tell might save someone else from losing everything. The walls of our digital castle aren't made of stone anymore. They're made of awareness, vigilance, community. And as long as we keep watch together, they'll hold. The siege continues, but so do we.